But
Yeah.
so why did you decide to branch out and start working on the business side of the industry?
Because I got tired of traveling, and I'd been doing it for over 20 years, and it was just time to make a change, and so that's what I did. I went to work at Capitol, and I worked with, oh gosh, there's no telling how many artists that I worked with, and that was 3.5 years. I found songs for, and got to know, and just it was a great experience, you know.
Well, you actually were the one that brought Lee Greenwood to Nashville, right?
Yes.
And I think it was your publishing company that actually published Lee's "God Bless the USA."
Yes, Sycamore Valley Music. Yeah.
So how did you first meet Lee Greenwood? Would you mind telling us?
No, I don't mind at all. It was back in probably 1978 or 79, and a friend of mine who became a partner with me in publishing business, named Larry McFadden. He was a front man for Mel Tillis for 14 or 15 years. And he lived out there close to where I lived, out in the country. I'd bought me a farm out in Ashland City, Tennessee, and he lived out that way, and we'd get together and write songs and so forth. And anyway, he was Mel worked a lot out in Vegas back in those days, and so I was in town here in Nashville, and Larry was on the road most of the time, but he was in Vegas a lot, and so I didn't find, but I got to know Mark Colley, and Mark was a great writer back in those days, and I guess still is. And so I signed him, and Larry called me one day and said that he'd found this artist out there that he wanted me to bring to Nashville and got a demo session on, and it's a lot longer story than what I'm making it, but nevertheless, that's how I came to meet Lee, and I sent him the money, sent the money out to him for him to fly to Nashville, and we cut 4 sides on him, a little studio out there in Ashland City, and anyway, that's how I met Lee, and once he wrote "God Bless USA" and recorded it, he was on a roll, man. I mean, I helped him get his first record deal, and
so was "God Bless the USA" not one of the first songs that he recorded when you made those demos? He wrote
no.
That
For
after?
one of the first songs he recorded was a huge song, and a great song called "It Turns Me Inside Out."
And mind if we switch gears a little bit, Ray? As someone who
mind at all.
has watched the country music industry change over the years on the performing side and also on the business side of it, what is your opinion on the current state of country music? It seems to have, in my opinion, lost all of its tradition.
Well, you know, Paul, I don't want to get into my feelings about the music business, what it is today and what it's going to be or what it has been or anything. But, you know, all I can say is I think I found this out the hard way, but everything changes after a while, and music is no different. You know, I mean, music changes from generation to generation, and I know I might not listen to today's music as much as I would if it was the same type of music that I recorded back in my day. But it just changes. That's all I can say. And today it's the demographics on it. You know, I mean, they got to be selling more records than they've ever sold in their life, because now the people that are buying the songs are young people, anywhere from teenagers to 35 years old, I guess. I don't know if those are the correct demographics, but they're pretty close.
Well, I believe I had a similar conversation with Jim Ed Brown, and Though I guess when you're talking about the younger folks, the teenagers, they probably get money from their parents, or have some
Sure.
to buy records. But as far as like people, college age like myself, I don't know of a lot of students that have a lot of money to spare. So I think that sometimes, in some ways, the more like the 45 to 65 range probably has the most money to spend, and those are the people that I think like a little bit more of the classic side. Remember the classic kind of music. So
Yeah.
I think that maybe the marketing
Those
strategy.
are not the people that are buying country music today. I can tell you that.
No, not what they call country music today. But that's part of it too. There's a difference. What they market as country music to me is not
Yeah.
true country music. But I'm sorry to put you on the spot there. I know it can be kind of political and everything. But
No, I think
just,
I mean that's my feelings. That's what how I answered the question. I think it's truthful, and I think it's a lot of fact to it. That's what's happening.
what you have said I think is very true, because many artists who have come through my program, I've talked on the side, have said that they found out that everything changes, nothing stays the same. The music, even in the
It does.
60s, was not the same as what Ernest Tubb was doing in the 40s, the honky-tonk style.
Yeah.
It's just moved a little bit further away. But you're still recording and still singing the real traditional country music, so there's still a lot of that out there for folks that want to find it.
Well, I'm not still recording, but I'm sure still singing it.
Well, I guess what I was saying recording was your
Yeah.
relatively recent record, Country Class, that you recorded. Maybe it was like, 5 years ago, something like that?
I think it was, yeah.
And so when I was reading the liner notes after you sent me the record, which it was just a fabulous recording, that you said that you wanted to record, you didn't know whether you'd record anything after this, but you wanted to record one project that your grandchildren could, remember you by and to be proud of
Yeah.
you for, since they didn't
Yeah.
remember you when you were you didn't know you when you were on the radio.
Well, some of them, they weren't even born when
Yeah.
I was having hit songs, and in fact, when they came along, I wasn't even being played on radio hardly ever anymore. So, that's why I wanted to do something for them, and it would tickle them to death when we'd be riding along or something, and one of my records would come on the radio. That was a lot of pleasure I took in that happening,
So how did you go about choosing the material for this record? Were these songs that you had found over the years that you held on to, since you hadn't recorded in a while up until
My friend
this point?
Jerry Crutchfield and I picked out all those songs, and in fact, those songs are 11 of those songs are written by Mark Nessler, and